We just do HVAC.
Just HVAC. Okay. And which company name?
Wallowa County.
Spell it.
WALLOWA.
This one?
Yep.
Right now it's showing the true value on retail side.
Okay.
It's showing the drum.
Is that your guys' Facebook page?
No.
No?
That's first they were on me.
Okay.
Like that very first listing is the only one that I don't know what that's.
That's a Linux
Right.
dealer locator. Okay. Are you a dealer? Are you a dealer?
Woman heating up.
Spell it again.
BULL.
How long have you guys been in business?
A long time. Over 40 years.
Oh, turn it on? Talk to me.
It's already on.
Uh-huh.
John's only for 3, yeah.
Okay.
And then John,
So, I'm sorry, how long did you say?
over 40 years.
4 years? Fantastic. 40. How many techs and installers do you guys have? Or trucks?
8.
8?
Yeah, but that's between HVAC.
Okay. For both. All right. So talk to me, you first. What's your guys' main goal? Are you guys trying to grow or are you trying to build profits?
Well, my husband and I are set to purchase this company in the next year and a half.
Okay.
So I'm new to advertising.
Okay.
So I'm kind of coming in at that level.
Awesome.
Learning.
This you came to the perfect class. I will say that. Yes. And you won't have to learn too much about advertising. We'll skip that. What about you guys? Main goal?
Just to get a larger customer base, growth.
Okay.
Certain amount of growth, of course, comes with that.
Yeah.
In the county. So.
Okay.
Just get busier, a big goal is to get our maintenance program set in and get that thing going.
Do you have a formal maintenance program now?
No.
Okay.
No,
So you need to.
We're doing a couple things to try and figure out what direction we want to go exactly with that and get that rolling. So.
Okay.
We kind of do. I mean, we've got some people that, but not really. We've got people that we see annually and do services for.
But no one with a credit card on file, auto bill.
That, exactly. We
Gotcha.
don't have that kind of deal going on. And we're kind of, unfortunately, stuck with the software that the co-op has for the whole company.
So
I was used to Jonas software.
Yeah.
I worked for Roth Heating and Cooling for 23 years before I moved to the county 3 years ago.
Okay.
And that was over in the Portland area, Oregon.
So when you say software, tell me more about the co-op and what the deal is. What is software to you? Is that more of an operating system or a CRM, your dispatching
Advantage,
and so forth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Advantage. Wallowa County crane growers doesn't really sound like a heating and cooling.
No, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
What kind of flexibility do you guys have to market the HVAC business?
Well, yeah, I kind of wish it was just like Wallowa County heating and cooling type of thing.
Do you have are you an owner in that company? You're not?
No.
No franchises or anything underneath it?
No.
Okay. Do they have restrictions on what you guys are able to do from a digital marketing standpoint? Do you know?
I'm sure they do,
Okay.
but I don't know for sure.
Do they give you a budget for your own marketing?
No, it's just whatever
Not
we want
yet.
to spend that comes out of our department
Okay.
to advertise our department.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, what we spend comes out of our bottom line.
And you guys from, at this point, you guys have primarily been installing Lennox
Yes.
and and which?
Lennox,
Napoleon's fireplaces.
Rinnai, wall heaters,
Okay.
wall furnaces.
And service all makes, models, brands?
Yes.
Okay. All right. When you guys get calls, what are the majority of the systems in your area already? When your service calls?
Well, it was oil, probably still is oil. We've changed a lot of oil out to propane.
Is it
So
oil?
the company
Would that be
also
considered?
says tanks at
Yeah.
the propane department, so, you know, set our own tanks underground.
They supply, fuel oil and propane both, so.
Okay, so you guys do propane delivery as well. Do you guys have a benefit to that? You guys selling that personally? Are you commissioned or salary plus commission or just salary?
Salary, wages.
Okay. Would the consumer refer to it as oil to gas conversions? You ever heard him say that? Okay. Okay.
So yeah, we do a lot of changing oil out to propane simply because of efficiency and cost.
Okay. And how are you guys getting your business now? Is it mainly walk-ins?
I'll walk in all the way now.
It's a real
Referrals?
small county. I mean, word of mouth and, you know, hey, the Grain Growers is doing heating and cooling now type of deal.
Okay.
Grain Growers has been around since 1944, so that and the hospital are the two main staples of the county.
Gotcha.
So everybody knows the Grain Growers. Now, that can be beneficial, but it also can be a negative thing.
Yep.
Depending on the ranchers or the people, you know.
What's on your trucks? The ones you guys drive? What does it say?
We've done basically all of them.
Yeah.
It's Wallowa County Grain Growers, and then below that, it says
Heating and cooling.
That's
they do know that if they're with it, then it still has the full company.
It was all called propane, and I said, we need to have heating and cooling out there. I mean,
Yeah.
people need to
heating,
understand
cooling.
what
Okay.
we are doing here. So,
Yeah. Have you guys had the conversation with them about branding and just having the county and?
No.
No?
It's something that crossed my mind. I talked to Becky about it a few weeks ago. It just seems to me, I don't know. I mean, most everybody's gonna know we're Wallowa County Grain Growers anyway, but yeah, just the name, website, stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's one other heating and cooling company, I guess, in the county. So we basically just have one other competitor, if you will. But that still, I mean, there's still people that, I didn't know Grain Growers does heating and cooling. There's
Yeah.
still a lot of that, so we need to get rolling on that.
You guys familiar with Scott's?
Oh yeah,
They're in LeGrand.
they're in LeGrand, so they're hour 45,
Hour and a half away, maybe.
Okay.
hour and a half. away.
Miller?
He's close.
Yeah, he's a plumber.
All Air?
Yeah, I know.
All Airs, again, LeGrand, so they're right there where Scott's is,
Okay.
hour and a half away. And then High Mountain, that's Jay, and he's there in the county.
As well. Okay.
We've got
Yeah.
competition.
He's the only other.
Wow.
And Dan's Appliance,
It's the end of the road
That's it.
before you
Yeah.
fall into Hell's Kitchen.
That's it.
that's it, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So there's 7,000 people basically in the county.
You need a bunch of maintenance agreements.
Exactly. That's our main focus.
Okay.
And Dan's Appliance showed up there just recently. He did all the services and work on the laser and monitor oil wall furnaces.
Mm-hmm.
And we've taken that over. He's done with that. So I'm
Okay.
really excited about that. There's a bunch of those in the county. So that's gonna bring us a lot of maintenance work, I believe,
Okay.
as we get things rolling.
And what about this, the petroleum company, as far as propane deliveries?
That's Ed Stahl.
So there's Ed Staub and there's Wallowa County Grain Growers.
Okay.
Up that way.
There
You're
you
not true value.
go. Right, it shows it's true value. Which is not what it should be.
Hello, hello. How are you? Good.
Right.
Okay, let me go look at Pullman real quick. I haven't been to Pullman since I was in high school. Yeah. That's what I just visited Spokane for the first time since I think I was in my teens. I was like, wow. I remember it just being a dust field. It's huge.
Yeah,
I was so surprised.
yeah, it seems like it keeps getting bigger.
I was just shocked. This is a city.
It's spread out, yeah.
It's not a town. Yeah, that was cool. Okay. You guys similar thing? Are you guys the only two in town? Oh no, you've got some more.
There is, Ackerman's is in Colfax, it's about 15 minutes away.
We will. Okay.
Moscow's is down there.
Okay.
Moscow's got a few things. There's a new outfit in town which I don't see called Unlimited Heating and Plumbing.
Okay. Did somebody just start it or is it a hand me down?
Just started.
Okay. Yeah, they're not up yet. For all of you, are people referring to things more as heater, furnace? What do they say more on the heating side? Furnace? Okay. It's just across the path. That's different. In Seattle, they're heater, unless they came from the East Coast. They say heater. So it's usually going to be different depending on location, unless you have a melting pot, and then you got to do both. You've got somewhere. Are either of you doing anything ductless?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. What kind of installations are you doing? Are they the basements, attics, server rooms, hospitals, commercial? Where are you installing the majority? Or the whole house?
Homes,
Homes.
residential homes.
Okay.
At first, we didn't think that was really gonna fly much in the county, but we've been putting them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are the consumers referring them as ductless or are they saying mini splits?
Most
They do?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any major manufacturer that's doing TV ads talking about ductless and mini splits on TV? You see the ads?
I've seen an ad for Lennox. Put a couple of those out.
Okay.
We don't have any TV that's that local either.
Okay.
Unless you have satellite.
Give more Spokane and Portland channels.
Okay. All right. I am not used to this. So in a normally for the majority of our clients, there are dozens and dozens and dozens. You guys are like, this is my market.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
own this. Back off, Jack. That is not normal from the majority of our clients. It's cool. That is cool. You just joined. Hello, Miss Lady.
Hi.
What's your name?
Melissa,
Melissa. And what's your company name?
Kinzer Air,
Okay, spell it for me.
KINZER.
Idaho. All right. You do more commercial or residential?
Residential.
Okay. You have a primary manufacturer you've been selling to date?
Yes.
All right. Service and repair all makes, models, brands? All right. Do you have a formal maintenance program?
Yes.
Maintenance agreements on auto bill?
We don't, we call it our cleanup fund,
Okay.
and we don't really make them sign a contract. They can opt in, opt out.
So they're just saying they want you to call them to remind them that they need to schedule service.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. But nothing on recurring income right now.
No.
Okay. What's your main goal?
I just want to make sure that we have a good web presence.
Okay.
And I'm interested too in like the mobile app. It seems like anywhere everybody just talks to their phone. Okay, Google, heating, cooling, Lewiston. And so I want to make sure that we're doing it right.
Okay.
A lot of times I think I feel like an island and reinventing the wheel, trying to learn it myself.
You're going to get everything you need in one shot. This will be very effective. So we'll dive into that more as we go through the workshop. But there's a difference between a mobile app and a mobile search. So, and what you referred to as an AI search, which means an artificial intelligence search. So a mobile app is going to be like your Bank of America app that you install on your phone. That will never help you get new customers, but it's an incredible way to put a moat around your existing customers to keep them off of Google so they don't go searching, so they don't forget. But the likelihood of getting somebody to install an HVAC app when they only have X amount of, what is it, gigabytes? But what do we run out of? Data, not the space, right, on your phone is hard. So you have to be really creative to be able to get somebody to download and keep without it being the first thing to go as soon as their phone starts slowing down. So we can help with that.
Also curious about like Facebook. It seems like we hear a lot about Twitter. We don't use.
Okay.
And there's Instagram and Snapchat and all these things out there that it seems like a lot of the younger generation seems to be all about it. But
You're sitting right next to the perfect group. You have your pros over there other than Facebook, because Facebook's for who, you guys? It's all right. Ask them what email's for, and they say dead people.
Most people like maintenance programs.
Facebook is the number one most important and priority for you guys, just because old people use it.
We just said we had a whole county full of old people. That's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other social media networks, some of them are beneficial, but one of the things we'll really talk about today is when. It's all timing. So the challenge with going to classes like these is, you'll hear some teach you how to tweet. Next thing, it's like, let's get on Twitter. But there's so much logic that has to go into the timing of what you do in what order, that is going to either provide you with maximum results for your investment of time or resources or money, or minimum, or it can even hurt you. So I've seen a lot of dealers, they'll throw up all their social media sites before they have any fans, friends, followers, or likes, and it's an immediate distrust. It can actually hurt you. So you have to get over the hurdle of making yourself liked before you showcase that you're there. So there's some interesting little things we'll cover and make sure you guys are really set on the right path for that. So those are good. What else? What else would you say is a hot topic for you?
When it comes to updating your webpage or your Facebook, or if you're going to look into getting into something else, I kind of peruse and pay attention to what other people are doing. So I'm always curious about how often should you be posting. Some are really generic, which I tend to skip over. They seem too professional. So I guess so what kind of content is going to be worth our time?
Hot topic.
How often?
So I always say that content is the least budgeted for and most important asset in your entire marketing. I just wrote something this morning and posted it. So I'm going to read you this. Where did I post it at? For all the old people. She said, I read it. So this morning I posted, I said, content bloopers. Imagine a retail company sold a product online or sold products online. They sell a thingamajig, a whatchamacallit, and a doodabop. They add thing 1 and thing 2 to their website or their online store. Then they have a big company meeting to talk about why the doodabop thing 3 isn't selling. You need a minimum of 1 page of content per product or service you sell where you want to sell it. Or you'll have to find people that are going to find people to sell it to. The budgeting rationale. What's more work? Manually fishing with your hands or buying a net and affixing it permanently to a salmon run? The logic. What can you do with your hours that's more of a high leverage activity than trying to find new clients? How about closing all the prospects that the $100 net caught you? So essentially this happens all the time. We'll have somebody and they're like, I'm not selling any indoor air quality. Or if they sell solar panels or whatever product that is. But if you go to the site, there's not a page that specifically showcases that service. So they're not playing that game. It's not available on the internet. Can't find it. Make sense? So if you have something you want to sell, wherever you want to sell it, we got to put a piece of paper in the drawer so it can even be an option. Make sense? So we have a whole section on content. Oh, Lula, can I have one of those? Can I have one of the 12-step sheets? All right. Hello, and welcome. You guys want to? I need an introduction, please. What's your name?
I'm Lori Turner.
Lori, fantastic. Good to have you. What's your company name?
Alpine Heating and Chill.
All right. Colorado?
No, Idaho. We don't.
Ah.
It's the fourth one down.
Is it?
Third one.
Oh, lucky.
Is that right? This yours?
Yep.
You don't have a website?
No.
All right. Great. This will save you a lot of time and money. I'm going to redo everything. Jeez, you guys. This is amazing.
She was just telling us how spread out we are without having a whole bunch of shops, like in a big city.
Yeah.
So these guys got picked on first. Wow, covers down at Enterprise. They're really far out there. A lot of land.
All you got to do is flatten the tires of 2 companies, and then that's it. You're done. There's no marketing. I'm just saying. Gosh. Okay.
They don't even.
What do people call when they call for something related to heating? Are they saying, need my heater repaired or I need a new furnace installed? What do they say usually?
Actually, I really don't talk to them because everybody in town has my husband's cell phone number.
Okay.
Usually they were needing, a service of, some sort or like a new install or,
What do you
change
think
out.
they call it? A heater or a furnace?
They call it a furnace, or a heat pump.
Okay.
That's a big thing.
Let me see.
Most people call me one meeting heat pump. Goes into other things. Oh.
You want to come up with me? I need help because I get so zoned into the thing. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Well, like,
Another hand
I guess
replacement.
my question is, I get those calls all the time about Google. About
That's not
Google
Google.
listing, Google this or
Yes.
whatever.
Those are scammers.
Those are all scammers.
Those are
I never
scammers.
call them back.
Google will never call you.
Okay.
You guys have some kind of target on your back from the day you put the word contractor at the end.
But then how do you get,
Yeah.
I guess that's my question, how do you get people to help? I mean, I am very illiterate on this stuff. I don't.
I got you on this. What are your goals? What are you guys trying to do? You want to grow? Or are you trying
I want
to?
to grow a little, not
Okay.
a lot. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
Is it more slow growth or do you see a cap? Do you see this is as big as we want to get? Or is it more about you want to grow slowly?
I want to grow slowly.
Continued growth slowly. Okay. Would all of you agree continued growth? No one has I don't want to have more than 3 people rule? Okay. Okay. Awesome. All right. That's perfect. And you guys are the owners? How long have you owned the company?
14 years.
How many trucks?
My husband has one service truck.
Okay. And you do the office work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Congratulations on your business and doing all this without a website. That's awesome. So that is awesome. And congratulations for all of you. For all of you picking a town that's so small.
We've honestly never even put an advertisement in a paper or nothing.
That's good. I'm happy about that.
Never paid for any advertisement.
Okay. All right. Well, you ready to get started? Yeah? All right. Fantastic, you guys. Thank you so much. Do you have any introductions you want to do? Or?
I don't think so.
You're good? Okay. Well, first, thank you to Black's Wholesale, you guys, for having everybody out and having us join you today. We appreciate it. So I'm Jennifer Bagley. I'm the CEO of CI Web Group, and I'm a national or international speaker. So this, I have to tell you, is really cool. I live in Seattle. 99% of our clients are in the East Coast, Central States, and Texas. So from September through usually the end of May, my husband and I, he's running the camera, but he's outside taking care of a client. We're gone. Hey, next gen, how long have we been, how many times do you think we've been home since September?
6 times.
Literally 6. So this is our next gen crew. These are our kiddos. Why did I call them next gen? I don't want to work forever. So this is Liz, Terrell, and Alula. And these guys are, and Michael. Introduce yourself.
Sorry about
No pressure.
that. My name is Mike Hickman. I am the CEO of the Web Group. I work exclusively with Jennifer. Those are our next generations right there. But I am in charge of design and development of every website that comes through the Web Group, including social media and Facebook and that. Sorry, I just struggled.
You're perfect. So I have to tell you guys, this is a huge deal to us on a personal level because we got to drive our 40-foot RV and we're staying down the street at Granite RV Park. We didn't have to get on an airplane. All my stuff, I have my own sheets. So it's fantastic, you guys. This is really a pleasure to be able to be with you guys and be home. That's a big deal. I'm about done with airplanes now. It's my end of the season. Your guys' season just beginning. So thank you guys. All right. That being said, we've got 4 primary principles around the way that we think. One is making sure you have the right technology. Okay. That you're leveraging technology to convert time to cash. There are plenty of things technology will do for you. It's our job as a group of business owners and professionals to figure out how to maximize our own time, to figure out how to do the things that only we can do. And that's where we're going to get the biggest benefit, and leverage technology for anything else. Second is going to be strategy, which means there's got to be a brain behind what we do. We have to think. So it's not about throwing it up against the wall to see if it can stick. All the phone calls you guys get that somebody's trying to give you a magic pill. It doesn't exist. There is no magic pill. There has to be logic behind our decisions. There has to be order to what we do in order to get the best results from it. So we'll help you with that. You guys, it's no different when you're trying to figure out how do I market my company, and we'll start changing from the word advertise, start using the word market. How do I market my business? It's identical if I tried to install my own air conditioner. And I am somebody who unscrewed a return vent, ripped the paint off the wall to put a filter in it. I didn't know any better. Okay. So that's really hard to get off the wall by. All right. So we're going to help you with that to make sure you've got a good guide. I'm not from the advertising industry. I'm an entrepreneur. I've built, bought, and sold companies for years. We own a real estate company. We have VRBOs, and we have a digital marketing company. And that's really what it's about. So my view is going to be different than trying to pitch you on advertising junk. Okay, I'm going to look more at how to run an effective business, what your personal goals are if you own the company, and what your professional goals if you work within the company, because they all matter. People always ask me why do I work so hard, and I've always said the same thing, because I want the ability to choose. I have no clue what my goals are or who I want to be when I grow up, but I do want the ability to choose without restriction. So I've designed my life that way. That's why we're in a trailer and I got to work at a park bench looking your river. My husband with his pole and his laptop. Okay. So next is network. It's who you surround yourself with. Are you asking the right questions to the right people? We have to be careful who we ask what. We've done it. Since we've grown up, we've all asked the right questions to the wrong people at random. And so we have to get better about figuring out who's an index, who do we trust for information. It's like hiring a guy that's never grown their business past 1, and you're trying to get your business from 1 million a year to 20 million a year. They're probably not going to be able to help you do that. Next is going to be mindset. This is really how you think. So out of the gate, I'll tell you that this process it's not easy. So if you know something's not easy going into it, just smile through it. Just roll right through that. It is a little difficult. We're dealing with a world that is changing faster than anything else on the planet. From a technology standpoint, the internet as a whole has grown faster and made more changes and more progress than just about anything there is. So it is constantly changing, and that can be frustrating. To be able to do this right and do it well, you got to have a pretty big team of resources that are experts at lots of different things. And the reason you guys are here is because we want to learn. So we're all constantly learning. We just have to kind of roll with that. I will tell you, I'm good at this stuff, like real good. But sometimes these guys start talking and I'm like, whoop, too much. I'm at max. I'll come back tomorrow. If my technology guys or my developers start talking or SEO team and they start rattling off what's coming and I'm like, whoo, okay, I'll talk about Fred tomorrow. So even in my world, I have to take a deep breath and roll through it because it's so much to learn. The acronyms, the the technology, the changes, the modifications, and what do we need to do in order to play this game. Now, that being said, you guys don't have 100 competitors sitting within a 5-mile square radius, which is really cool. So you guys are not going to have to work as hard as I believe almost every client we have. So that's awesome. So our team, you guys, we started in 2006 officially. We've got over 110 people around the world. We have offices in Pune, India, Rajahmundry, India, Kathmandu, Nepal, in Greece, Dubai, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, California, and Seattle. So we've got a really great group of entrepreneurs, and they're all experts in their own area. So it's kind of like taking your CPA, your financial planner, and your accountant and putting them in the same room and letting them duke it out. They all think they're right, which is okay. So if you talk to a designer's going to have a set. I mean, they believe what they do is more important than anything else. If you talk to one of our developers, they're hands down the smartest people in the company. If you talk to an SEO engineer, they're going to overanalyze everything. They're all very, very different. But that's the beauty of it, is you need people that are experts, and moms just don't give birth to all of these personality styles in one body. It's impossible. You can't hire a marketing person that's going to know all these things. It doesn't work out that way. So today we're going to go over, we're not that cool yet. So today we're going to go over two different elements. One is the framework, which is basically the functionality and the basics you need to have in place for your business. That's the structure. And then next is going to be the engine. And you guys, if you have your phones, quick way to do this, you guys can snap photos of slides as well. I am recording it, so we'll make sure and get your information. And after we get the video downloaded, I'll make sure you guys get a copy of that as well, so you can press pause at different moments and so forth. So totally don't mind if you guys have your phones taking photos. The engine is essentially, how do we make this thing run? I mean, it's not going to do it by itself. A website on its own does nothing other than potentially help you close the business you go get. There's got to be an engine behind it. We got to be able to get that thing to start working for you instead of you working for your website. So I have a question for you. In the last 12 months, how many of you have made a purchase and you are not an existing customer from either a radio ad, television ad, newspaper, magazine, billboard, or door hanger? Anyone? Okay. 12 months. I didn't get any. So with that question, every audience I go to, I might get 1 out of 100 people that raise their hand, and I'm talking about full 12 months. But the other question I'll usually ask is, how many of you have advertised via any of those mediums your own business? And usually it's about half the room that does one of these. If they feel bad. I would literally rather listen to a group of soccer moms tell me how they buy than an advertising company any day, which is why I love speaking, because I get to have conversations, get to figure out how you think, how you work, what's important to you. Same thing with consumers. So we monitor and do a lot of work with consumers to figure out, well, how do they think? What do they buy? What do they say? What do they search for? You know, what's going on in their mind consciously. And the hard part is, how do you pull out of them the subconscious traits? So next question, how many of you in the last 12 months have made a purchase because you went on the internet, did a search, found a product or service or a company you wanted to work with, and you spent some money? Everyone? More than once? More than 10 times? More than 100 times? Your wife did. Don't worry. Okay. So, I know. Amazon? All right. How about same question, but a referral? You asked a friend. Everyone? Okay. How many of you Googled the company, product, or service first, even if it was a referral, before you made the call? Raise your hand and look around. Raise your hand and look around. Everyone raise their hand, except you. You raise your hand. Don't be lazy. All right. So if that's the case, guess what we just ruled out having to learn anything about? Advertising. Just scratch it off your list. Scratch it off. Okay? There are functions of advertising you can use to improve your digital marketing, but as a whole, advertising is not going to get you very far. You're going to burn through a lot of cash. So, challenge is when we have our business owner hats on, we're looking at things we would have never looked at. You go to your mail, when you have your business owner hat on, you go to the mail and you actually look at the stuff, right? When you go home and you have your dad hat on, your mom hat on, your husband, your wife hat on, what do you do after you go to the mailbox? Where's the first place you go? God, you guys are from the West Coast. You're supposed to say recycling. My East Coast people say garbage. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, so that's it. That's it. It boils down to two things. People go online and do a search and do the research and they buy, or they ask for a referral and then they go online, they do a search and they do the research and they choose to move forward or not. And for referrals, here's the biggest challenge. If you stand and say, all of my business is referral business, you will never, ever be able to quantify the number of referrals that never picked up the phone and called because they had a hard time figuring out who you were, what your phone number was, you didn't have the most reviews, you didn't have enough stars to subconsciously make them pick up that phone. You would never know you didn't get the call. So as successful as our businesses may be because of our reputation, our brand, our friendships, our past clients, we still have zero clue how much business we could have naturally had just by visually looking better on the internet. Make sense? Sweet. So you brought up AI. That's a big deal. 4 years ago, I was standing in front of audiences and I was talking about Google's new requirement for a mobile responsive website, which is a new way of coding. Okay, they sent out notes. They said it's a request. Then they said it's going to become a requirement. Then they sent penalties, and they dropped websites off of the face of the front page for anybody who didn't have a mobile responsive website. 2 years ago, I stood on stage and I said, "Be careful, wearable devices, those watches." My husband has one on. I know they do. Mine's dead and nothing. But that is changing the way people are searching. And this last year, I stood on stage and I've been talking about these two little boogers that are continually also changing the way people search. Because when we talk to a device, our voice request is much different than when we type. So when I go to a computer, I may type in AC installation, Pullman, Washington. Think for a second, okay? However, if I'm talking to, what are these two things called? Alexa, yeah, Echo, and Google Home. Right on. So if I go to these, anybody have one? Yes? Do you love her?
Yeah.
I do too. I miss her when I leave. I bought a Dot.
Oh, Echo.
Yep.
I don't want to.
Yes. I love her too. So she does everything. We have ours. Ours is like hot wired. So I can ask her to turn on the lights. I can ask her to turn off the lights. A lot of times when Mike and I are traveling and these guys are at the house, it'll be 11 o'clock at night and we'll pull her up on our phone and say, "Alexa, turn off all the lights." And they'll be sitting in the room and it goes pitch black and they're like this. And their eyes get really big and we can see them in the infrared videos on our phone. So you can have fun with it. In addition to that, I can ask it to order me an Uber. I can ask it to check my calendar, add something to my list, to purchase something for me. And I can also say, "Alexa, tell me the best air conditioning installation company in Edmonds, Washington with the best reviews." That's a long query. So if you think about Google, all of these devices are technically gathering their results, whether you're searching on your phone or you're searching in the cloud or you're searching on your watch or you're talking to a device or you're talking to Siri. She might pull up. So all of these devices are gathering that data from the internet. But the device is It's a robot, right? So it is only able to gather data based on the inputted request. So if there's nothing, if you don't have anything out there for it to grab onto, then you won't play that game. Okay, and that's content, and we'll talk more about that. So this process of technology change, Mike and I walked the trail down there by the river. What was the Lewis and Clark expedition? What did it say? It was 18 something here. That's not that long ago. You know, I was reading of everything on there. That's not that long ago. When you think about how fast technology is advanced, if you just took the 1800s, compared it to the 1900s, the amount of technology advances in the last 60 days surpasses a decade of technology advances previously. What does that look like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, or God forbid, when these guys, 1,000 days from now, if these guys decide they want to open up an HVAC company and become a competitor, or if they want to become an employee, bring their thoughts to the table, which is like head rattling when they have an idea and want to talk to us about it at 11 o'clock at night, constantly. Or if they're going to be our employer, or if they're going to be our future client. 1,000 days from now, that's a big difference. So we need to catch up, and that's hard, but we've got to, because the rate consumers are changing is much faster than the rate business owners are changing. Fair? All right. So let me get out of here. Let's stop here. When you are purchasing a website or hiring someone to do a website, when I was talking about those teams of people, and I said moms don't give birth to these personality styles, this is the best version of that. So if you ever think you can hire Bob, the guy, to take care of this stuff, this is what you should consider. Anybody know a graphics designer? What do they like? Personality styles. What do you think? Creative? Friendly? They dress nice? They have real friends? Their houses are decorated? Their garages for cars? Not a living space? Friday night, if they say they're hanging out with friends, they're actual real bodies, right? Let's go meet a developer. Anybody know a coder, a developer? Anybody got a nerd in the family? Yeah, what are they like? So if they say I'm hanging out with friends on Friday night and you pull up at their house, are there going to be any cars there? No, they're online, hanging out with toxic M54. Terrell, did I get that right? Oh, I was close. I have to tell you, I walked into our game room one time. I think Terrell was 10, 12, and I walked in and I was like, "What are you doing? Why don't you go hang out with some friends?" And he looked up at me and he was like, "I've got 30 friends I'm hanging out with. We've already planned our whole lives, and they're from all over the United States, and I got a couple people from around the world. You need friends, Mom." I was like, So, do you remember that day? Okay. That's a developer. Not typically dressed nice. You'll usually find them in some flip-flops, torn jeans, possibly Heineken, techno music. The garage is actually a living space. Cars don't go in there. They're different. If you have a designer build your website, you're going to have something absolutely beautiful with no brain. How's that work over time, guys? If you have a developer build your website, you're going to have something that is very powerful and it's ugly as sin. If you have an engineer do it, what are engineers like? What's their personality styles? Straight-laced, yes. Organized. Facts and figures, researching, analyzing, right? Do they guess? No. Everything is based on data. So they will be the one to rule out what the developer says and what the designer says based on data. Yeah. They take longer to make decisions, right? Over researchers. Sometimes you got to push them to get to the end result a little bit. However, if you let the designer and the developer do it without the engineer, then they're guessing. With the engineer, now there's some history to it. There's some data behind what they're doing. There's rationale and reason. And then you got to have a content writer, totally different person. Somebody that has the ability to sit behind a computer and write air conditioning repair in 500 different cities, 6,000 different ways on a monthly basis. I don't have that. Totally not in my blood. And they have to write for a human, and they also have to write based on a robot's requirements, right, for Google. So Bob can't do it. If it doesn't work, it's not Bob's fault. We just chose bad. Fair? All right. So if you don't have a website or you're going to go through this process, that will save you a tremendous amount of missed opportunities, which is usually more expensive than the cost of doing it right. Okay, it's how much did we lose by not having it done right? All right. So we're going to talk through competitive advantage. We're going to go through this. You guys have a piece of paper. And you're going to start on the page that has step 1 on it at the very top. This can feel slightly overwhelming. Just roll through it. Let's see here. Let me go grab a couple sites. So first thing, this process, this is called the 12-step roadmap to achieve accelerated results. This is our methodology for building a business as it relates to marketing. There are 12 steps and there are 12 stages. It is not about doing step number 1, all 12. It's not going to happen. We have to scale into this in pieces. So the difference, a company that is doing 40 million in sales for HVAC, they're doing all of this and all of this. Company that is doing 1 million in sales might be doing a handful of these on page 1. Okay? And there is everything in the middle. The first rationale is someone will say, yeah, Jen, the reason a company that's doing 40 million is doing everything is because they've got 40 million. When the rationale should be, the reason they have 40 million is because they continually added each one of these things. They continually added to their marketing plan. And every time they bootstrapped their marketing dollars, they had some growth. They reinvested in the next thing. So there are 3 core elements to making this work. And it's a mindset we all have to adopt as business owners. As sales professionals, one is what's working, we need to do more of it. What's not working, stop. Reallocate it to something that is or something new. And the third one is we have to have a what's next mindset. We have to think like that. We just talked about the fact that technology is changing rapidly, right? Well, in addition to that, that's one reason. Consumers and how they react to technology and how it changes their lifestyle and what they do, that's changing so fast, that makes us have to have a what's next mindset. And the third element is we're not doing everything on the list. I need to know what's next. The more we live in that space, the more our company is going to have continued progression and profitability. So for those of you that own or co-own your companies, question, why did you guys start your company? What do you want more of? Or what? Freedom, perfect. There's only 3 answers and they're all the same. What else? Why do you guys want to buy this? Money. Say it, honey. There you go. Okay. What's the third one? I want more. How about time? All entrepreneurs are the same. They all are. I want more time, money, and freedom. I'm not starting my own company because I want to work harder more and 24/7, even though that tends to be what happens. Okay. So if we know that going into it, the likelihood of us being in a position where we feel like we've lost our time, money, and freedom. Again, the process of getting out of that rut, it's hard. Smile through it. Set stage, make a plan, have the right mindset, and you will get through it. I promise you that. You got to know what your intentions are and what you're going for. Okay? I got to hit the entrepreneur. I got to hit both sides. Okay? All right. So first and foremost, step one is website. A heating or air conditioning system is not exactly an inexpensive purchase. So we need to get real about the conversations that have in a consumer's home. Typically, it's going to sound something like this. Husband says, "Hun, we need to get a new air conditioning system. This is not cutting it. It's breaking. I'm having it repaired all the time. We got to get a new air conditioning system." What month are we in? May? We're in May? You're right, Mother's Day. Okay. She looks down, she looks at May, kids are getting out of school. What does she want to do? What is her priority right now? Thank you. Hun, I would like to go to Hawaii. The cost is about the same. So, okay. So, that is a real conversation that happens in that home. We need to be very careful when we're thinking about this business because it is not a fun purchase. It's not exciting. Most families already have a list of something I'm not going to say, but you guys can get my drift stuff they have to deal with, right, in their own home. And this is there are some heavy emotions behind having to make these calls. So, little things to think about. You guys put your mom, dad, husband, wife, homeowner hat on. When do you get to take care of your own things, your own family-based things? What time? 3 p.m.? Noon? 1? 10 a.m.? 10 p.m. Love it. So, part of this process, when we go through here, we need to know where our exit doors are, and we need to start getting rid of them. If the average homeowner or business owner can't take care of their own personal things until after 5 p.m., if our website and our Google business listing and our Facebook account and everything else says we close at 5, and they go do that search, and it says close now, will open tomorrow at 9 a.m., that's an exit. It would be better if your website remained open 24/7, even though you're sleeping. Doesn't mean they need emergency service. It means they need to check that off their list at 10 p.m. They need to have an appointment and be able to talk to somebody tomorrow at noon on their lunch break and have that planned. So when wifey says, "Babe, did you call him?" "Yep, got it. Appointment tomorrow at noon." They never talk to anybody. But it's done. That's a feel-good moment for somebody. Make sense? Okay, so little things that are important when they're doing their research and they're going to look at sites. If they're going to spend 15, 16, duckless, 18, 20, 12, 6, 8 grand, whatever the price is, for this kind of an investment, they want some professionalism when it comes to the site. Something unique. They want to make sure that when they go there, they feel like they're dealing with a reputable company because this is a really big investment for a lot of households. They also don't want to have that argument with their wife about Hawaii versus their air conditioner or furnace. So making sure that it's very clear there are financing options available. Okay, making it extremely clear. They also want to make sure that they can schedule an appointment with you regardless of time. So having some kind of online scheduling system that allows them to book a 15-minute phone call on their lunch break tomorrow. In a matter of seconds, when somebody lands on a website, you have a second without them moving. This is called above the fold for them to see who you are, what you do, where you do it, how to reach you, 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 how to reach you. What do other people think about you? That's it. You guys technically run 2 to 4 businesses. Are you guys 2 seasons, 4 seasons? As far as your 2, it's heating and cooling. You don't have a big spring and fall? Okay. So that's more like East Coast and Texas. Same thing. So our guys in Texas, they run 2 different businesses. They have a summer business and a winter business. But our guys in Seattle, Washington, they run 4 businesses. In Canada, because they have 4 seasons. So they have big indoor air quality season. Their spring and fall is mainly maintenance, tune-ups, and service. Their summer and their winter is mainly repairs and installations, replacements, and so forth, change-outs. So that being said, I don't want them to have to search to figure out what it is you do. Something else very important to realize, you guys don't sell products, you sell solutions. It's a service, not Home Depot. Most consumers aren't thinking, I need to buy an air conditioner, the product itself. They think in these 7 variations. I would write these down because these are your primary key phrases. Primary, most important. One is AC service, AC repair, AC installation, AC replacement. Don't get stuck with your pen because you say they're the same thing. So I have service, repair, installation, replacement, AC tune-up, AC maintenance, and AC inspection. Who searches for AC inspections? Any thoughts? Realtors and inspectors. Heck yeah. They will never go look for AC maintenance or tune-up, ever. They will always send a message in, and we monitor our clients' leads as they come in through their scheduling system because we like to see how consumers talk. So you'll see a realtor, they'll say, touching base with you, we have a client that we're currently trying to get into a new home. The underwriter has the inspector has flagged the air conditioning and furnace as being old. This is currently a condition we have to clear in order to be able to get this client into their new home. Can you do an air conditioning and furnace inspection so that we can get the condition cleared? Will you certify it? Interesting. Big key phrase, wildly used in the real estate industry, not on any heating and air conditioning websites. No pages, no content for that. So when we see realtors asking for that and inspectors asking for that, it's they're begging. I mean, they're like, please tell me you do these. It's the same thing as doing a tune-up or a checkup, right? They don't think that way. They see it and it doesn't resonate with them. Same thing with someone, the difference between installation and replacement. To you, it's the same thing, correct? To a consumer, someone who bought a brand new home versus someone who bought an aged house, it's different. And they both search differently. Okay, same thing with repair and service. They have no idea if they need it repaired. They don't even know what service means, technically. That's real. You could do a Who's on First skit about it. They have no clue. But they all use one or the other words. They just do. So you also have variations. I told you to write down AC, but there's 3 common variations to air conditioning. AC, air conditioner, air conditioning. They all search differently for those as well. Okay? I'm totally getting into this step number 2 because that's my exciting part. All right, back to websites. So I don't want them to have to hunt. We cannot feature products. That immediately throws them off. You selling a product or listing your products to them means you really want me to pick out what are they, 16 tons or something? I don't know, wait, but you really want me to pick out one of these things? Huh? No. They're out. They mentally check out, especially if you get a girl. If it's a woman and she glances at a site and it says our products and bam, there's these things. Those are monstrosities. They have no clue. We're in this, so we're kind of okay with this. The average female is not okay with that. And if they're doing that, that's their task. That's a problem. The other thing is if we immediately go to a site and visually it's equipment, bam, right out of the gate. We are not connecting with what matters to her. So guys, you tell me, does a woman care how much you know or how much you care first? I say it fast. If you're still married, then you know, okay? They want to know how much you care. So we've got to connect quicker with the human feeling before we get into the technical aspects of it. in their world, something's not right. My energy bills are too high. Got condensation in the windows. I have mold growing. My toes are freezing when I'm in our movie room watching. My nose is freezing every time I wake up in the morning. I hate walking from one room to another, and it's freezing in this room, and I'm sweating in this room. My kitchen is boiling. I can't keep the windows open. I hate cooking in there because I'm hot. Think about you know what I mean? These people are going, like, they have stress. And that's what's causing them to know they have a need. So we need to connect with that sooner. Does that make sense? Okay. Little things. Content's critical. That's for Google. People are lazy. They just want to feel good, know you do what they need, where they need it, and make it easy for them to take the next step. 90% of a website is not for people unless they're an engineer. Why? Why would I say that? Because they got to go do all their research. If they're not an engineer, they don't have that brain, they just want to feel comfortable. They want to know, do you sell what they need, where they need it? And are you going to make it easy for them to do business with you? Pretty simple. So there are other little things that are critical to resolving some issues that we've found based on our experience. And by the way, 90% of our entire client base is HVAC. Oddly enough, it was a total accident. Happened in one speaking event, and then it has snowballed since then because we used to do legal and attorneys and medical professionals and politics and entertainers and everything else. So needless to say, we've learned a lot about your industry. So little things like we manage thousands and thousands of local listings for HVAC companies. 2 biggest reasons they get negative reviews online. Any guesses on what they are? The 2 biggest, most common. Why is a consumer going to go leave a negative review?
No follow-up.
No follow-up? Not enough information? What else do you think?
There's stuff that we're
Yes, that'll definitely do it. So that's a biggie. So I don't think that's a big one you're guaranteed to probably get that review for if it wasn't resolved. 2 most frequent when we're talking just volume is 1, not showing up on time or not showing up at all for an appointment. And number 2 is when you get a service call, you go out, you change a battery in a thermostat, flip a breaker in a garage, and you send them a bill. They don't care that it took your time, your energy, your money, your gas, your truck, your mileage. You could have done an installation during the same hour. They don't care. All they know is they just got charged $69, $79, $129. I've seen everything all over the board to flip a battery or change a battery or flip a breaker. So little things that we've built and we keep learning. We built a troubleshooting system where literally they can go through the process and the system is going to give them ideas on what they can do to fix basic, simple things. So we've literally seen consumers come to a website, fill out a request for an appointment. They want to talk to someone about service or repair. And then 30 minutes later, send in a request that's a cancellation to that appointment request and say, hey, we used your troubleshooter. We realized it was the battery. By the way, great tool. I bookmarked your site and we'll use it again. So didn't get the call. We also avoided a negative review, which is worse. That's permanently damaging to a company. They were able to resolve themselves. And I don't know if you know how hard it is to get the average person to bookmark an HVAC site, but that's hard. It's not cool. I'm going to read your blog on Saturday, so that's hard. So this system basically, if they can't fix it themselves, then it'll ask them to schedule their appointment. If it does fix it, it'll say, great, glad we could help, bookmark our site and feel free to use it again. Simple things. Okay, other little things, making sure that there is clear and more of a magazine feel to the overall design of a site so that they have the ability to make decisions faster. So a lot of times it's mass amounts of text and it's all squished and there's not good clean white space. It doesn't feel like a magazine, so they tend to check out faster. Other things that help, savings centers. So this is an older version of a site. I think what year? Not that long? 6? So to me, if we build a website and it's 6 months old, it's old because we're doing things way different now than we were 6 months ago. And if you look at a website we built 2 years ago, I hate them And this one I'll hate 2 years from now. Does that make sense? Because it's changed. 6 months from now, I'm going to be irritated with it. Yes. So right now we're building a new area called a savings center because we've learned that a lot of the technicians and sales guys or a lot of the technicians and service techs are also the sales guys, and they're having a hard time with sales, period. Okay, so one is we've got to have a really, really good strategic process for that interview with the client. That interview can often take place online. So we've created a call to action button on a website that says online estimate. And we've compared it to get an estimate, free estimate, get a quote. Online estimate, we were able to ask almost 30 questions of a consumer, and they filled them all out because they thought they were going to get what at the end? Thought they were going to get a price. So as soon as they fill it out, it says, great, we need to do our research. We need to come out and do a site inspection, find out what kind of deck space we're working with, what kind of ventilation you guys have, make sure you're set up, and then we'll have a quote ready for you. But when you called the client, you knew when they bought the house, how old the house was, how long they've been in it, how long they plan on keeping it, how many square feet it is, how many units they have, are they inside, are they outside, are they upstairs, downstairs, in the attic, whatever. You knew all of this information, so the conversation was much more efficient. You didn't have to keep them on the phone longer. You were more educated compared to anybody else that placed a phone call. In addition to that, it asked questions that were for future use. Do you have any issues? Check all of the issues that apply. So it may say, do you have allergies? Do you have pets? Do you have water issues or water something issues? I can't remember what it said. Do you have condensation? Do you have mold? Do you have room temperature differences? So they asked all these questions before they ever got the deal, which I'll tell you 2 years from now or 6 months from now matters, because if you didn't win the bid to do the installation, you have the data to go back and address the air quality issues. You have the data to go back and address something else. So, and that is, you're meeting with them today to resolve issues today, but you're gathering the data to be able to have opportunities to sell when you got trucks in the driveway and you're not busy. Okay. So, other savings things. Little question. When was the last time you bought your heating or air conditioning system? If they say 12 years ago, what's an immediate concern you need to address? Price. How much do they think it cost if they bought an air conditioning system a year ago? Or 10 years ago? 12 years ago? A couple $1,000. So if you ask that question up front, your presentation is going to be different. You're going to have more of a value proposition talking about what are the benefits of having a higher efficiency system. So let's look at it. So you'll go through and say, these are some of the benefits you'll see in your overall budget. Now this is based on a different location, so this is not the same cost, what it costs per kilowatts that you guys would have. However, being able to talk to them about this, being able to talk to them about financing options, just in case you and your wife are planning on that Hawaii trip, we have a financing option that'll make you be able to do both. Cut them to the punch. It's like hit them ahead of the game. Okay. In addition to that, did you know that there are these tax benefits for higher efficiency systems? There's these energy credits that are available for high efficiency systems. In fact, we've got an incredible distributor and manufacturer that has some great rebates and programs that are going on. I'd love to tell you about those as well. Overall, we can really save you a lot of money, make sure that you guys are in a good position to be able to do the things you want to do as a family and be able to take care of these things you need to take care of as a family. Make sense? Is that helpful? Okay, so making sure your website, you have energy savings tips on there. You have your promotions on there. You have your SARE calculator or cost calculator that's going to help you. Making sure you have your rebates, the things that you can reference so that when you go on a sales appointment, you can use your website as the tool to be able to present the value proposition they want to hear in order to make a decision. Third-party endorsements, critical. We have a whole section on reviews. We'll get back to that. Talked about special offers. Okay, benefits. Some of these things also you can do if you have, if you guys are next to a military base, having something related to veterans. If you're next to a college, having something related to educators and school teachers. Some kind of promotion that's 10% off for educators, school teachers, and so forth. If you're next to a police and a fire station, something for fire personnel and EMS and so forth. So do things relative to your community. That's going to help as well. When we get into the social media bucket, we'll talk about news, real-time things, real events. We've had in our California clients during the fire season, we did some really big promotions that were related to firefighters, EMS, and police and so forth, and they wound up actually getting free press on getting picked up by a news station. We've also done huge promotions for October for breast cancer awareness, and that would bring you to tears if you heard the phone calls that came in. It was really, really cool. So there's lots of things you can do to be more personal and connect with people earlier in the process. All right. So simple thing, bottom of the website, every bottom of the website, basically there are core functions. It's, you got to have your address, you got to have your phone number. And every phone number that's on the entire website's got to be a click to call. If you put a phone number on a website and it's an image, you guys ever been searching on your phone and landed on a website and you want to call them and you're in the car like, okay? That is a big deal. Making sure that that's part of your mobile optimization. Click to call phone numbers. That's a really big deal. One thing we learned that I wish we would have known earlier, in the first couple years doing business with HVAC specifically, about 2 years into it, my phone started ringing during the middle of August. It was our clients going, Jen, turn it off. Huh? What do you mean turn it off? We don't have enough staff to handle the phone calls. I was like, oh, this is not pay-per-click. You cannot turn this off. So we had to jimmy rig some referral relationships and some collaboration between a couple clients that are in a similar area. But now we don't build a website without having a giant sign at the bottom that says we're hiring. And that sign is always open and they're always collecting resumes whether they're hiring or not. And that way when the time comes and they need, they've been there, done that, and they're not pulling at strings. I don't want that to be the emergency. Okay? So, obviously connections to your social media sites when the time is right. That's going to be as important as well. That, if we start on number one, first one is, so step one, website and branding. Do we have a professional brand? You guys have a branding challenge. There's no way around that. That has to be addressed. That's going to be a thorn in your side. That's where, if you need help, I'll have that phone call with whoever we need to have that phone call with.
Probably our best bet is to, in that search engine, to, when they start typing in the air conditioning, HVAC, that kind of thing, that we come up as that department and not as True Value.
You need your own brand. Yeah, you need your own brand. You need your own physical listings. You need your own. So, and I can help with that conversation if you've got, influencers or people that need a little push.
Because that's like kind of like our name. A lot of people don't even know we do cooling. I mean, just because it's Alpine Heating and Sheet Metal. So I think we have to work something.
That's a branding challenge. So like, Alpine is the company.
Right.
The tagline should be heating, air conditioning, sheet metal.
Right.
And that's below the logo. So icon, Alpine, that's your company. And your tagline is below that. Everybody should have something like that. And then you have a room to expand. We have companies that have heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, solar. And that tagline just shrunk a little bit, but it's longer. So you want the ability to expand. So what you're getting people familiar with is Alpine or your primary brand. And you need an icon, something catchy. I love this guy. I always show this site. So even if the site grows old, his brand doesn't grow old on me because the number of people that when they ask for something, they're like, I love him. The lizard. People love it. They love it. So we've had some cool polar bears. We've had a lot of cool brands that people have really attached to. Okay, so as far as the stages, well, we've basically covered And these are the fundamentals, and the only things I would put as a phase 1 plan. Professional logo and brand, we need to knock that out. Next is professional design and development. We need to knock that out, so we can't hire Bob. Next, you could almost interchange these two. I have a hard time on saying whether maintenance or financing should be first. As a business owner, my belief is that the longevity of a business and the valuation of a business is dependent on the number of maintenance agreements, credit cards you have on file, and the number of recurring subscriptions you have. The average person, we all have subscriptions we pay. Water, delivery, pest control, phones, cable, Netflix, whatever. We're used to that. So sometimes, like with yours, that's a big conversation. Sometimes we want to do that because we think it's the nice thing to do, when in reality, consumers want more time, more money, more freedom. So if there's a benefit for them to have a no worry, no stress, if I'm going to spend this much money on a system, I don't want to have to remember I need to go to Home Depot, figure out what the heck filter that is. I got to buy those things. I have to crawl in the attic and I have to change that. That's exhausting to think about. So just build in some things that are also exhausting for a consumer. Add some value to it. We'll change the battery in your thermostats. We'll, make sure your carbon monoxides, right? Things are working. We'll test your carbon. Do these little things. We'll do a quick safety check on your house. Make sure they have, give them a safety list. It says, oh, you're missing your fire extinguisher underneath your kitchen sink. You should have one. You should have one in the garage. Do something simple. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a quick check. Make the list. And a consumer will absolutely. So when you're talking to them, you're protecting their family, their money, their budget, making things so that it's not as stressful for them, protecting their children, and their overall investment. So get a credit card and get it on a subscription if possible, if at all possible. The other thing to think about is for your maintenance agreements, you guys don't exactly have spring and fall, but you have a little window when you're not as busy, right? You got a 70, 80 degree window, 65 to 75 right now, right? Okay. So tax season, perfect. So think logistically when you do this. Right now, you should be signing as many maintenance agreements as possible, doing the service right now, so that your next service is 12 months from now, so you never have to worry, are you guys busy during the 65 to 75, 80 degree weather? That's booked. You also will be able to have the math behind knowing when you're full. I have exactly the number of maintenance agreements and pre-scheduled appointments that happen during these 3 months or 2 months, whatever that time frame is, the down season. And I would have every hour booked with just the contracts that we have. So A, we need to bring on another resource, or B, we're not selling maintenance plans for a while until we bring on another resource, or we pre-sell them and we have the resource on before next year. That makes sense? Because now you're math. Now it's math. That's easy to juggle. If you do them randomly and haphazardly, that's a little difficult, unless during the middle of your summer, if you sell all your maintenance agreements in August, when you're doing installations, and your next maintenance time is August, you're in trouble, right? Got a plan for next year that's going to hurt. Because hopefully all this marketing stuff, this works. You're selling more systems. You're doing more installs. Next year, you're like, oh, damn maintenance plans. So if you're going to do that, Jimmy rig it so that you do it early. And use it as a benefit, a referral thing. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and do your maintenance early this year. We want to take care of you a couple in June, July, and sell it as a value proposition. But try and schedule those during those times. Make sense? All right, financing, you got to have it. You have to have it. People buy bigger equipment. They buy more expensive equipment, and they love financing. They don't care. So even though it might be something that people have not asked for yet, I promise you it's out there. They're looking for it. Here's how it works. They go to your website. They look. They'll go under resources typically, and if you don't have financing options, I would say that for these guys, they're out. You'll never know they stopped by. Other than your analytics is going to say you had 312 visitors, and your books say you didn't.
Do you think a lot of people just don't like to go to their local bank? They would just rather go?
They don't want to go. They don't think about going to their local bank. That's not in there. Mm-mm.
Not even an option.
Mm-mm.
Most people.
They think they're buying it from you, and they should be getting the financing from you. So what do you recommend? Green Sky, Pazer, Home Depot, or I mean Wells Fargo. What's the
For financing.
recommendation?
Credit unions and the banks, but I think some of our heating contractors offer some financing. Some do,
Okay.
some don't.
So I have a solution. It'll knock it out of the park for you, and it'll solve a bunch of issues. We have a partner of ours called Pazer, and Mike, what Don's Pazer site?
But you get the food tab.
Okay, so
I didn't realize, because we did synchrony, that they run credit reports on you, they go to the IRS and check everything. They make sure that you're not the deadbeat.
no, I don't see it on this one.
Food tab.
Oh yeah, it's there. Okay, so this system, this knocks out a whole bunch of birds with one stone. One, they can apply for instant financing. It does subprime. It does prime paper. They pull run report. It's a broker. So like when you go get your home loan, if you go to a broker, they run report and they use the report across multiple banks to get the best rate. Versus if you go to your bank and then you go to your credit union and then you go somewhere else, you got 3 pulls on your credit report. So this is much smarter and better for the client. In addition to that, your clients can make payments on the internet and your payments are in your bank quick. Fast. Secondly, when you guys are on site and you're with your client, you can actually snap a picture of a check or you can take their credit card right on site. Clients can go in, they can pay their bills on the internet. And it takes care of your monthly subscriptions for your maintenance plans. All in one shot. There's no cost to sign up. And I've got 2 guys that'll take white carpet care of you guys if you want help with that. Pazer, but if you're interested, I will have my guy, so you don't have to go to their customer service department. You get an account executive. His name is Clay. I can have him give you a ring or you can give him a call. And we do all the implementations. Most of the time what happens is people get the software and then they don't use it because it's not on their website. They don't have it integrated on anything. Whereas we'll integrate it on your website, your social media sites and everything, make it really, really easy. Okay. Yes.
We use QuickBooks.
Yep. And it integrates with QuickBooks.
Okay. Are you saying do it through QuickBooks or do it through the?
So QuickBooks is, do you have QuickBooks online or do you have a disk? Offline. Online. Okay, so we use that as well. So inside QuickBooks, you can set up recurring payments, but you can't set up the ability for them to sign up online unless you're using Intuit Gateway with the merchant account and you got an e-commerce system. With this, you can let them sign up through here. It'll go through your gateway and it'll land in your QuickBooks account. So same thing. The only difference is let them sign up on the internet. Let them sign up online. That way when your guys are in the field, you're not taking paper. You don't have credit cards in your hand. You're not violating any, PCI compliance issues. Just make it fast and easy. And they'll do the brokering for you. So for your financing options, that's a really big deal. That'll just knocks it out. I've seen stuff get approved. I'm like, wow. So let them get financing. Okay. He'll answer questions too if you have deeper questions about it. All right. So the next thing, online scheduling and chat. You're going to notice these, all of our sites, we pretty much mandate it because I know the difference of not using it. All of our sites have an online scheduling system for multiple reasons. The complicated reason is you guys have seen a web form on a website where there's a form on there. You put your information, hit submit. That is very dangerous. That is a way that a scammer, a hacker, can inject code directly into your database, and that's a quick way to lose your website from a hack. So we don't like that. Most importantly, I want your website open 24/7. So you guys have 2 different elements of your business. You have the sales side of your business. You have the operations side of your business, right? Operations, a scheduling system would be more logistics. That's dispatching. Totally different. The sales side of your business is sales. I want a 10-minute phone call, a 30-minute phone call, and so forth. So if it is 10 p.m., someone's laying in bed and they're like, I gotta schedule something for the air conditioning system to get checked. They can go to your website, boom, they say, I got a service request. It's a 15-minute phone call. You know what, I could talk tomorrow at 1. Let me look at my calendar. I can't do the next day. Let's go to Monday. And on Monday, I got an appointment gap. I got noon. So I picked 2 different times I could potentially have a 30-minute call, fill in the information, submit it. You guys get a notification. You have the ability to accept, decline. It's already connected to your calendar. So if your calendar's booked and you can't call, it's not even going to show as available. If it isn't booked, then it's going to show as available. Okay. When that person comes back to your website, they now have an area on your website where they can go into my account. They can see every conversation they've ever had with you. So you keep all the customers' communications back and forth in one database. They can see every appointment they've ever booked with you, all the documents you've ever shared, and we can address one glaring issue. Every consumer focus group and interview we've done where we've asked them to tell us the name of their heating and air conditioning company, even when they had service within 90 days, they don't know. They don't know the name of it. Now, you guys, based on the town searches I did, probably don't have that problem. However, you need the traffic. You need a reason to get them back to the site and save some money. Don't do all the printing. Send all of your proposals, your estimates, your warranty, your documents, scanned images, a picture of their filter. Put it right in the system. So every time they need something, they don't have to go dig through all the papers under their bed or in their office. They just go to your website, download it right from there. Make it simple, make it easy. You don't have to mail stuff out. Are you anybody mailing forms afterwards? I've seen a lot of that. So this, send it electronically. Okay. If they want something different. So something careful in your brains is don't get caught up on something that works really well because of an exception. So even in our world, I had one of my guys say something yesterday. He was like, well, maybe we should stop doing this. I was like, how many people said something? He's like, well, 1. No, there's always going to be an exception. So use the technology for the rule, deal with the exception outside of it. Do what you always do. That's the easy part, right? Okay, benefit to this. So this technically inside step 1 is the online scheduling. I haven't covered chat, which is also step 3, which is CRM and scheduling system. This is, from a long-term standpoint, very, very important to any business for future marketing efforts as well. Every form that's ever been filled out within this system goes into a central database just like this. New appointment request comes in. So this is somebody trying to schedule a meeting with one of my staff. They're going to discuss local listings, Google business listing. If she wants to accept it, she can hit accept. She can edit it. She can reassign it to somebody else. She can say, remind me in 10 minutes, in an hour, in a day, 3 days, next week. If I do an installation and I didn't sell a maintenance plan and I want to follow up in 3 months, or I want to do a customer service call, you can set all your reminders, automate everything. If she's going to yell at me later, I'm going to accept her appointment for her. I'm going to get in trouble for that. Because if they don't accept it themselves, they don't know it's, I have to remember to tell her. So once that appointment has been accepted, remember, this is, in our world, it's a digital meeting. In our world, it's we get on a webinar and it's an hour call. In your world, you're going to call the client at noon for a 15-minute phone call. It's no different than your phone ringing and a receptionist picking up at random. The only difference is this is planned. Call them at noon. You got all their data. It's in a database. So the system is going to remind you, and it's going to remind them via text message and email, you got an appointment and it's at noon. You'll have less no-shows. Okay. In addition to that, right now, the majority of HVAC and all contractor companies, the only data they're keeping is in QuickBooks. That's a problem when it comes to marketing. Because as we move through the basics are step 1 through 6, and we get into the engine, the making money part. Eventually, you're going to want to do things like a text message campaign, an email marketing campaign. You're going to want to do a promotion because you got a new product coming out and you know this is going to be, this is greatly needed for this group of database. You're going to want to be able to do that. But if you don't have the data, you can't do it. If you can't quickly say, show me every single account we've done an installation for without without a maintenance plan, because that's a target, you're stuck. If you can't quickly say, show me everybody that's on a maintenance plan, I got a parking lot full of trucks, I need to get some appointments in. Maybe we can do some quick appointments and get people out of here. If you don't have the data, you can't get it done. I even have dealers that are tracking the requests they got for estimates for installation and the no purchases in two different ways. These are ones that just didn't buy, period, because it was more of a cost thing. These are the ones that bought, but they bought with a competitor. They're even going back to them and saying, I know you had, company ABC install your air conditioning systems. We have a service that is basically a post-installation checkup. It's a lot of times it's like hiring a real estate agent to do both sides. You want to have someone else do a checkup on someone else's work, so we can give you an honest, opinion, make sure the installation went well, give you a sign off and cert that you've got a good install, and also we can talk to you about some maintenance programs that are available. You can literally snag a maintenance agreement right out from someone else's installation, and I've got guys that are killing it. Make sense? Okay. All right. Other things you can do. So inside this system, this particular contact, you can tag them. Those are the tags I was talking about. That's called segmentation. You can keep track of all of their info inside the system. You can see every appointment they've ever booked with you inside the system. You can take payments inside the system if you choose. You can manage all the documents inside the system, monitor all your conversations in one location. In addition to that, all of your calendars, this syncs with your calendar. So hopefully you guys are using something like Google Calendar, which is free. You don't have to pay for Microsoft. So entrepreneurs, stay away from the paid licensing things. It's not necessary. It costs tremendous amounts of money and it's not needed. You can use this system, tie it into Google Calendar. If you block off a day on your Google Calendar, it's not available on your website. It's that simple. All your clients are in one area. I can easily export the entire client list. I can also invite them to send an email if I want to say, hey, you guys, just wanted to let you know we've got an incredible promotion going on about blank, or we just added water filtration, or whatever it is. You can send a message instantaneously to all prospects or prospects and customers, leads, and opportunities. Payments, I said that. Documents, campaigns. Here's cool. In a matter of seconds from your mobile phone, you can create a text message. The text message is simple. It's designed to show up on a mobile device. So for us, the way I use it, I said email marketing solutions. I'm giving 6 webinars to different distributors and dealers and manufacturer groups talking about text message marketing designed to grow their business. We expect to have hundreds of participants. Before the mad rush, I want to make this available to all of my clients. So this message, if they click this link, it can take them to schedule an appointment with you. So if you say, we're giving a blank discount to everybody who signs up for their tune-up between now and now, fill the calendar, and so forth. Okay, or everybody that signs up for service or maintenance or repair, installation checkup, whatever it is. But this text message, the second you send it out, so we sent it to 885 phones and 344 viewed it, 33 people signed up. It takes 2 seconds to do that. The more segmented your list, the better responses you're going to get. The more of that questionnaire that you have up front when you do your initial interview, the more information you're getting, and you're tagging, going, okay, this is a future opportunity for this. This is a future opportunity for this. Get that stuff in there. And when you're ready to turn this on, you're ready to go after something that's more of a text campaign, you can instantly be marketing to that list quickly. Cool? You can also send it as an email. As far as setting up the campaign, you give it a name. You want to invite clients to do what? So it could be your finance group saying, I got a bunch of unpaid invoices out here. So I can send them a link and say, need to catch up, schedule an appointment. You can send a document. So if you get a flyer from your distributor and you guys want to send a quick flyer that's a promo on something, you can send a document to every single person right out of the gate in 2 seconds. One of the preferred live site, or you can send them to a custom landing page, so you can send them to a page on your website or somewhere else. Cool? I have a lot of clients that are actually using this for to send people to read a blog article that they did. As soon as you click create, you put in a title, put in a little bit of text. Your link is already here. Choose a pretty picture. and hit send. You're going to choose choose how you're going to send it. So you can send a test message and you're done. You can view it online. It's simple. It's very, very fast. Make sense? All right. So everything else on step 1, 7 through 12, not now. None of that is necessary now. Will you grow into that? Yes. Put that in the what's next mindset and it's going to come later. You got other things that are more important first. All right. You guys want to take a restroom break or something? Or keep plugging? Need a break? Bathroom? 1, 2, 3, go. We'll go quick. We'll come back and we'll move on to the next one. No headaches yet, right? Okay, good. Okay. All right, good. Hi, darling. Oh, no. Do you guys have business cards with you? If you do, if you'll give them to these guys, they're going to pull some reports for me. How was that pinky promise?
Yeah, thank you. And I forgot.
He needs one of the TSM, and same thing with right here. I'm gonna go to the restroom. No, you're fine. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick too. Oh, and I will be right back. Yeah. Hey, stop that recording. Stop that. Turn that one off. No, go ahead and stop the whole thing, and I'll turn it back on. Yeah, and close it down.